Man Hour Nation, let's get shocked. Good one.
Oh, this is my part already? Okay, sorry, I'm awake now. Well, every day we start off with a rant. And I got a text yesterday before I got on while I was chasing a lizard. And it was from Mr. Drew Brewski, who's always watching our show. And we love Drew. Shout out to Drew for listening always. And the text from Drew says, let me get over here to it because, like I said, I was asleep. I was not prepared. He said, Wyatt, please get your ass on the show. We need somebody to try and stop Buck's insane rambling. And I'm like, oh, man, what's Buck saying now? What's Buck saying now? So I found out what he was talking about, and Drew was right. My rant today is about Michael Buckheister, his top 5 running backs list. Jonathan Taylor at 1, I respect that. Sure, if you want to put Jonathan Taylor at 1, that's fine. Najee Harris at 2. Questionable, but still, Najee's good. Najee's got a lot of upside and could be a top 3 running back this year. I respect that. Dalvin Cook at 3, still a little low for me, but I respect it. Here's where it flies off the rails, though. First off, there's no King Henry. Buck, come on, man. No King Henry. That's the best running back in the league is King Henry. I don't care if he had 8 games out last year. He was the leading rusher through like week 15 and didn't play half of the season. Nick Chubb, while he is a really good running back, and I think he's a top 5 running back and deserves to be on this list, I'm fine with that being there. But then Ezekiel Elliott at 5? Zeke isn't even the best running back on his team. Tony Pollard is better than Ezekiel Elliott. You heard it here first. My rant for today is on you, Michael Buckheister. This is the craziest running back list I have ever seen in my entire life. And I'll tell you what, we got a little teaser here. We'll get into my top 5, and I'll break down the top 5 actual running backs in the NFL later on in the show. So stick around for that. How about that? There you go.
Man Hour Nation, cue that intro.
I am going 6-0 in the division because the rest of the division sucks.
This is the best division in football, Tori.
Take that step back. We are seeing the true quarterback that he really is, which he is not a very good quarterback.
Welcome to the Man Now, where we taking over. It's time to give you them facts. Won't miss a game or two, cause we here for you and we reporting all of them stats. We coming to you live to keep you updated. Broadcast across the country, we the fan favorites. Break the volume to the max and don't nobody touch it. We cross the topics off the list, addressing every subject. So if you ain't got a clue, then you can tune in and give it 24 hours and we back again. Breaking news, new scoops, we the top dogs. From the fields to the courts, we report it all. Buzzer beaters through your speakers, we the ones to call. Trust us for the news if it's got a ball. Giving you the top stories cause we love the turf. Tell a friend to tune in and where you heard it first. Yeah, you're listening to the Man Now. We taking over, it's time to give you them stats. Hey, you listen to the Man Now. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them facts. Hey, you listen to the Man Now. We taking over, it's time to give you them facts. Turn the speakers up a little loud. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them stats. Cause you listen to the Man Hour.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckheister here with the Man Hour. Be sure to head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the new and improved blog section. We just dropped another Packers blog over there. My man Tyler Faber dropped a great Packers blog over there. So if you guys are interested, go head over there, check it out, share that with a couple friends. Be sure to become a member or be registered on the website so we can have an interactual conversation over there. Not interactual. What's the word I'm looking for? A cordial conversation over there. F it. No, let's go balls to walls. Packers suck. Go Pack, go. I kind of just puked in my mouth a little bit when I just said that. But guys, head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the blog section, merchandise page, and of course, you can check out all the NFL news over there as well. We have all 32 NFL teams over there with news, scores, and highlights, and all that good stuff. I have 28 teams done. So the only teams that I have left are like the Commanders, the Eagles. So the bottom alphabetical order teams, I have 4 left. But speaking of alphabetical order, Mr. Wyatt Williams, when he comes in alphabetical order, he almost comes dead last 90% of the time. So I got to welcome the man, the myth, the legend himself to the show at _Wyatt Williams on the old Twitter machine. Wyatt, what's up, big guy?
I would like to also mention you're correct. I can't tell you how many times in my life that I've had to wait in long lines because of my last name.
Right.
As a kid, every single line we were in school, they were like, oh, alphabetical order.
What?
So, like, I was the last to get my lunch. I was the last to get to go on the car rider line every day. I was the last to get to do everything. It was horrible.
Jeez.
Horrible.
And
But,
I was always first
you're
because bees run the world, man.
Right.
Joe
I complained
Biden.
about it to my teacher. I complained I can't talk right now. I complained about it to my teacher one time and she felt bad. So in like 4th grade, she switched it. Every day we did either alphabetical order or reverse alphabetical order. So
Sheesh.
sometimes I would get to, and if we did reverse, I was first. So I liked that.
First world problems.
Exactly. Right.
Teacher, I have to wait 3 extra minutes to get my lunch. This is bullshit. So,
I wish it was 3 minutes. Oh my! You know how many kids get up there to the front and they're like, PB&J or a chicken sandwich. This is the hardest decision of my life.
Chocolate milk or white milk.
Right. You know how many kids get up there and have to decide through so many different things and stuff? It took, I would have like 10 minutes of lunch after. Literally. I would have to just scarf down my food and then go out to the playground and we'd have recess. I don't know how I never puked. I have no clue.
Well, you never puked because you're good at swallowing things whole, from what I understand. So when you were chasing the lizard last night, were you swallowing it whole or was it coming out whole? That's the real question, right?
I ended up what's funny is I ended up not catching it. I couldn't catch it. And it came back after we got off the show. And I called my friend Will.
Jeez.
And he came over and caught it because he's faster than I am. And literally he grabbed it. Like,
what?
I couldn't get near it.
His tail didn't like way too fall fast. Off or anything?
No. He just like grabbed it, put it in the bucket, walked outside and dropped it. I was like, I just chased that thing for like 3 hours. And he walked right in and just grabbed it and went on with life.
Yeah.
I was like, you gotta be kidding me right now.
I feel like I would have chopped his head off. She gone. Like, what are lizards good for? Let's just be honest. I mean, they probably eat like bugs, right? But I mean, everything.
They eat bugs, yes. They're very influential. They're like snakes. People hate snakes, but you know what? If you see a snake in your yard, especially a black snake, you should never kill it because it keeps all kinds of terrible things like rats, spiders, and other rodents and stuff like that you don't want in your house. That dude right there keeps them out of your house. So if you ever see a black snake in your yard, do not kill it. If you see a black snake in your house, then it's just up to you because obviously you got to get it out. But you know, if you can get it out without killing it, that's good. But if you have to kill it, I understand. Having a snake in the house is not a good thing.
Yeah. So. Speaking of not a good thing, apparently you do not like my top 5 running back list.
No,
and let's just go ahead and recap my list from last night. At number 5, I do have Zeke, one of the most prolific running backs in all of America, all the United States of America besides London. I don't think he's very good at London, but whatever. Nick Chubb, Delvin Cook, and then Najee Harris, and then Jonathan J.T. Taylor there. Wyatt, you don't like my list? Like, so give me your list. You are so much better. You are so much more influential. You're so much smarter than I am. Give me a reasonable list here, Wyatt.
This is not even a reasonable list. This is the correct list. There are 5 names that should be on that list. 5 names. And really, if you want to mix and match them in whatever order, it doesn't really matter. But there's a very distinct one running back in the league that is just better than every other running back. And it doesn't matter if he's not healthy. It doesn't matter. None of that stuff matters. The guy collects yardage. I get it. He's got all these carries. I know. King Henry is the best running back in the NFL. And I really do not think it's close. He is spectacular when he's on the field. I mean, he picks up grown men that are professional athletes. He picks them up and throws them like they're rag dolls and then proceeds to take the ball 80 yards down the field and score a touchdown. You can use him in a screen game. You can just hand the ball. I mean, literally, he is what he could possibly be the best between the tacklers runner in NFL history. He really could be. He is just ridiculous. You hand the ball to him, and that's it. You hand the ball to the one-man wrecking crew, and he just picks up yards. That's what he does. So, and on top of that, he's actually one of the fastest people in the NFL. Like, normally when you get these power backs, Marshawn Lynch is a great example of this. While Marshawn Lynch was absolutely awesome and could just mow people over, he wasn't nearly as fast as King Henry, not even close. So right there off the bat, you're looking for speed, he's got it. You're looking for somebody who can catch the ball in the screen game, he's got it. You're looking for somebody who you can just hand the ball and say, forget it, he's going to pick up yards. You've got it. That's King Henry. So that's number 1. Easy. I don't even know how King Henry could not make your top 5 list. I don't know if that is so bad that cannot be real. Next, I have Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is one of the most elusive backs in the league. He's awesome out of the screen game. you just can't get a hold of him. He's too fast. He's too shifty. He'll juke you out. He'll spin around you. He gets around you and gets the yardage he needs. I mean, he had that one game last year with 230 something yards. I mean, I had him in fantasy and he got me a grand total of like 40 points in a game at one point. Same with King Henry. So they're just ridiculous. They're two downhill runners who are just unstoppable. And King Henry will go through you, and Dalvin Cook, you can't get a hold of him, and he goes around you and then ends up scoring anyways. So I got Dalvin at 2. At number 3, I've got JT, the Wisconsinite himself. JT could be number 1 next year. I think this is the year where he could actually start to develop into the best running back into the league, and next year I think he could take it full swing. People don't realize the reason why JT was so good when he entered the league is because he's already got so much tread on the tires. So he's already he's already, with the carries he has, a vet. So he's already got all that experience, all the ball carrier vision knowledge he needs. So while I don't think Jonathan Taylor's career goes too long because of how much tread he has on the tires, I mean, hopefully it goes longer. I really love watching JT play. JT is my 3. That guy, he has this burst speed. When he gets out in the open, he shifts it down a gear and just leaves everyone. Nobody's running that guy down. I mean, he is a freak. So I got JT at 3. After that, it's tough here. This is where it gets kind of tough. And I think after this, I've got Alvin Kamara because he is just a satellite. He just sits around the quarterback, floats around. He's just incredible at dump off passes, and he makes something out of nothing every time that guy touches the ball. He is freaky elusive. He has freaky speed. He's one of the best receiving backs in the league. So Alvin Kamara is my 4, and he is wildly good. At 5, and the only reason why I have him this low is because he has not played more than like 4 games in a season in the last 2 years. It's CMC. And CMC could be 1 on this list if he stays 100% healthy. He could be 2 on this list as well if he stays 100% healthy. But I haven't seen him be even – I mean, he hasn't even played a half a season in 2 years. So, but here's the thing. Every single time that he comes onto the field, he does crazy things. He still continues to pick up a ton of yardage, still continues to be incredible everywhere. I mean, he is the most ultimate Swiss Army knife that the NFL has to offer right now. You can put him in the slot. He can run routes for you. You can hand the ball off to him. You can get him in the screen game. You can get him in the flats. I mean, literally, this guy does everything. The only knock he has is he is so unbelievably injury prone, and it sucks, and I hate it because his career has been so affected because of it. If Christian McCaffrey would have stayed healthy his entire career, the amount of records he would have broke for the running back position are a ridiculous amount. I think he would have had the running back receiving record. He maybe would have got a stab at having at least top 5 in the rushing category because he's great running the ball and receiving. I mean, it's basically like having a wide receiver that's a running back and can do universally everything. So even though he hasn't been 100% healthy, CMC still has to make that top 5. I saw a list online earlier that he was at number 2. If you want to put him at 2, that's fine. Go ahead. I understand that as well. It's just the injury proneness is the only has skyrocketed him down for me. I mean, he's still going to be a top 5 fantasy football back taken in this year's draft and probably next year as well. So if CMC can stay healthy, I think he's even higher on this list, but I had to at least start him in the top 5. So my 5 is going to be CMC. So to run back this list, King Henry at 1, Dalvin Cook at 2, JT at 3, Kamara at 4, and then Christian McCaffrey at 5. There you go.
Wow. Okay.
That's my top 5.
So first things first is I respect everything that you said about King Henry. He is definitely a very prolific back. He is fast. He is powerful. He will get the ball a lot. But Wyatt, what you do not know is over his 7-year career so far, 6 or 7 years, I can't remember first or now, he has over 1,400 carries. Last season, he was on pace for 500 carries last season, Wyatt. What does that do to a running back's body? It breaks it down. So
it deteriorates him.
Running back years are like dog years plus 2. So we're basically talking about, so we're basically talking about an old man trying to run the ball down the hill. Now, the only knock that I have about King Henry is where is he at the first, second quarter, and halfway through the third? He is almost non-existent in the first half of like most games because everybody is fresh. What King Henry does great is his stamina, right? Once he gets the ball more, he just gets more powerful and more powerful. And in the fourth quarter, that is when you see him throwing guys down to throwing them down to the ground, getting the 80 yards carry, right? But with that being said, the Tennessee Titans are going to be playing from behind a lot this season. I'm not talking like 14 points. I'm talking like 21 to 28 points. So the only way they're going to get back into the games is throwing the ball. And guess what? King Henry can't throw the ball to get rushing yards. So I'm just saying.
He is a guy to where even if you're down by 3 touchdowns, you're still going to hand him off the ball.
Okay.
He's still going to get 3 to 4. No matter what the score is, King Henry gets, depending on how long the drive is, at least 2 to 8 carries every single drive.
Now,
every single drive he's on the field, he's going to get somewhere in there.
Yeah, so
it doesn't matter how far down they are, how far up they are, how close it is, how not close it is, what quarter, what half, what game. It does not matter. King Henry is getting 2 to 8 touches every single drive.
Right.
Every single one.
And we did see it last year when they were down, 18 points versus the Seahawks, and they rushed the ball the whole second half, and they come back and won the game. So, like I get it. But their defense isn't as good this year either. And also, to add to my point here, King Henry was hurt for all of 8 games last year, right? And Alpha Rob hit the nail on the head. King Henry had a problem getting 1 yard in the playoff game last season to seal the game. He couldn't do it. Lost to the Bengals.
He was hurt.
Okay.
And they lost to the team that almost won the Super Bowl. If Joe Burrow had a half of a second more to look upfield, Jamar Chase was streaking wide open, all by himself down the right sideline. So they lost to the runner-up to the Super Bowl champion and could have been the Super Bowl champions if Aaron Donald didn't make his Hall of Fame highlight career moment.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? So why have you ever heard the saying almost only counts in horseshoes and like hand grenades, right? Just because like you could almost get a ringo. Yeah. Did the Bengals almost win the Super Bowl? Does that almost put a ring on their finger? Yes or no? It doesn't, right? It doesn't put a ring on their finger. Oh, okay. So did just because King Henry almost got that 1 yard to seal the game, did he almost seal the game on that? No, he didn't. Like he didn't seal the game.
This is crazy.
So basically, I'm making my point here over and over and over. You just said King Henry is hurt. He has a lot of tread on the tires. 1,500 carries. Couldn't get 1 yard in the playoff game to seal a victory. King Henry's done, Wyatt. He is done. He will get his 1,200 yards this season, maybe 1,300, right?
That's huge. That's a lot.
That's huge. Okay, that is a lot, right? But it is not a top 5 running back. Zeke is going to get 1,600. Nick Chubb's going to get 1,500. Devin Cook might
Zeke is not going to get 1,000.
Whatever. Mike McCarthy.
Tony Pollard going to be taking all the touches.
Now you see,
Mike McCarthy doesn't run the ball that much.
This is where you're wrong. Mike McCarthy has a new MO. It is, I'm going to use my $100 million running back as much as I can. Run his ass into the dirt. So that way, when he is used and abused, Tony Pollard is still fresh. I can sign Tony Pollard for cheap because we don't know what he really can do, even though he might be better than Zeke in the long run. So once Zeke's contract's up in two years, let Zeke go to the Titans. Never hear from him ever again. Just like the old Cowboys running back. What the hell is his name that had the rushing title and then went to the Titans? You never heard from him again.
DeMarco Murray. He went to the Eagles. He went to the Eagles and did absolutely squat.
Right. So Zeke will do the same. Zeke will do the same thing. Tony Pollard will sign a contract in 2 years. Giving him $60 million, they're going to use and abuse him, and they're going to draft the next guy. That's why Zeke is going to get 1,500 to 1,600 yards again. We are going to see his rookie season all over again in year 7. Zeke is going to be the man. Nick Chubb is going to be the man. Delvin Cook. Najee Harris could possibly get the leading rushing yards this season.
I don't doubt that. Najee's is a great running back. I think there's still more I need to see from Najee until I'm ready to put him in that top 5 category.
What do you need to see?
He's right on the outside of it. I think he's right on the outside. I
As a rookie, he had 1,500 yards. What else do you want?
It's still like I don't know. I don't know how he's gonna work with the new quarterback system.
You're right.
I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. He's a gadget guy who can catch passes out of the backfield as well. Like, I'm not taking anything away from him. And I still say he's on the fringe of that top 5. I'm not saying he's outside of the top 5, way out and outside of the top 10 or anything like that. I'm gonna have him at 6 or 7. I think he's right on the edge. I just think that there's 5 guys in the league at this moment who are better than him.
Why? Can you scoot back from the camera about 1.5 foot? How do you accept a handoff? Show me how you accept how do you get a handoff from the quarterback?
Like this.
Okay, that's what Najee Harris is going to do 25 times a game. Mitchell Trubisky is going to say hike, and he's going to give it to him. Najee Harris is going to run downhill over and over and over again. He's going to get 325 touches this season on the ground alone, 1,700 yards. Hell, he might break 2,000 yards this season. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to go back to the steel curtain on the defensive side, and they might win a Super Bowl just like what they did with old Ben Roethlisberger and the Bush, right? A rookie quarterback, a damn good running back. Does that sound good? Kenny Pickett, Najee Harris. Hello.
Jerome was a vet at that time. This is totally different.
What's different about it? They both run downhill. They're both fat. They're both slow.
Oh my god.
Anyways, guys,
he's a freak athlete. He could totally be top 5 though. I don't disagree with that.
All right, guys. So we got the infamous if and then coming up here in a couple minutes. We're going to break down the AFC West. Start with the Kansas City Chiefs. The game that I have circled is the Buffalo Bills Week 6. Spoiler alert, Alpha Rob. Buffalo Bills get their ass whooped at Arrowhead Week 6. Don't even come at me. But anyways, guys, we're up against the first break of the night. Wyatt, if and then, I love it. So, guys, here in the chat, play along as well. We're going to have great times. It is all geared toward AFC West. So this is an AFC West night. So if you don't like it, get over it. Chiefs are still the best team in America, baby. Wyatt, we'll be right back after this break. Do it.
What's going on,
All right, dude, we are clear.
Thanks for tuning in to the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. We have some really exciting news for several Belly Up Podcast Network shows. The Sports Stove Podcast, the Rough Cut Sportscast, and Here in Puckburg have all been nominated for a Sports Podcast Award. So head on over to sportspodcastawards.com and make sure to vote for the Sports Stove Podcast for Best College Sports Podcast and Best News and Current Affairs Podcast. Vote for the Rough Cut Sportscast for Best American Football Podcast. And vote for Here in Puckburg for Best Winter Sports Podcast. Again, that website is sportspodcastawards.com. Thanks for being the best part of Belly Up Sports. We are what they are.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scarred. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best. What the hell's wrong? Get along with anybody, honestly. My own head constantly thoughts need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative. I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go off, I won't let them win. I'll take a stab, I wanna chase the bag. I wanna weigh, I can change all the things I lack. I gotta face the facts, I got a taste in that. Got me obsessed with the rest, I got an itch to scratch. I'll give up everything. If I could see my dreams, make things right. 'Cause I'll do anything to make whatever reality. Don't let go. Don't let go. I'll make things right. 'Cause I'll do anything to make whatever reality.
wanna escape my pain. I just wanna be a better person. I deserve this, I just wanna break these chains. Always destined for greatness, true to myself, I never fake it. Seen too many once that I so they get famous. And when I say the truth, most really can't take it. In spite of everything I've been through, I'ma make it. Fake friends, but on my downfall is toxic. Day one, started the outlaws for profit. Now all I do is write verses, no talking. All I do is put the work in, no option. This was everything I ever wanted. Created a legacy off of me, just being honest. And the fake ones hate, but it's all to no avail. They wanna see me lose, but you know I never fail.
Not wrong, Wyatt. Not wrong. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckkosh along with the Wyatt Williams. You can find us both on the old Twitter machine at manhour_Buck, and you can find Wyatt at _Wyatt Williams on Twitter. Tweet at us, have fun with us, talk that trash, share funny gifs, all that good stuff. But guys, we got a special segment here. This is a second ever If and Then. And let's take it back to 5th grade science project, right? We all love science right here on the Man Hour. I give Wyatt a if statement, and then he completes the conjunction with a then statement. But first, this segment is brought to you by Man Hour merch. Check out the tumblers, guys. Does your wife consistently bitch about how much alcohol you drink during the night and like how drunk you get? Well, with the Man Hour tumbler, now in black, you don't know what you're drinking. She doesn't know what you're drinking. It could be full of liquor, it could be full of beer, hell, it could be apple juice for all you care. Don't worry, scent free. So when you get drunk, there is a little bit of cubby thing underneath. Pop a mint, bada bing, bada boom. Nothing ever happened until you stand up and you start puking and pissing. You're pissing yourself. Not like that happened to me last night, but is here nor there. So Man Hour Tumbler, guys, check it out at the merch store. Wyatt, you definitely need a tumbler. So starting at $19.99, get yourself a black tumbler with the Man Hour logo on there. And I got throw Wyatt's signature like in there. You know, just bada bing, bada boom.
Bang, bang.
But hi babe, what's up? Oh, you're pissed at me? Okay, show me your boobs. It doesn't work like that, guys. Come on, grow up. We don't wait. Why, have you ever seen boobies?
No.
Okay, me neither. I actually used to see boobs a lot, and then I got married, and I've been celibate for the last 6 years, so it's been fantastic. So anyways, guys, it is time for the infamous if and then. Like I said, it's an if statement, and then Wyatt follows up with the then statement. Wyatt, are you ready?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, give it to me, baby. Anyways, the first if and then statement of the night. Like I said, this is all geared toward AFC West. So the first question of the night, Wyatt, if the Kansas City Chiefs win the AFC West, then
Brandon Combs is an idiot. No, if the Kansas City Chief, oh my God, there's one of them. There's one Kansas City Chief.
Yeah.
If the Kansas City Chiefs win the AFC West, then they didn't need Tyreek Hill, I guess. It's like if they win I don't think they'll win the AFC West this year. I do agree with that, but actually I don't know. That team is so high powered.
Yeah.
There's still so much there. There really is. And I'll say if they do win the AFC West, then yeah, that's what I'll say. Then they didn't need Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, so I'm going to say if the Kansas City Chiefs win the division, then we have figured out how to run the ball effectively on the offensive side of the ball. Just because, yes, Patrick Mahomes is very electric in the passing game. Travis Kelce is huge. I think Juju will have a huge season as well. Sky Moore is probably going to be the rookie of the year on the offensive side. But how to win games in January, how to win a Super Bowl, how to win a division, run the damn ball. Use Rojo, use Clyde, use Gore, use those guys running him then into the dirt. We need to see 30-plus carries a game from this Kansas City Chiefs offense just because the rest of the division, Wyatt, is going to be so high-flying and the defense is so freaking bad. We need to keep other teams' offense off of the field, and we need to play offense with defense, aka run the damn ball. Next up, Wyatt. Next up here. Like I said, we are staying strictly in the AFC West here. So, next team on the division. If the Denver Broncos win the division, then
Russ is like that. Russ is like that. If he comes in and just wins this division with 4 teams that are capable of, in my opinion, going to the Super Bowl, if he comes in and does that, Russ is like that. Russ cooked up for more than just 8 weeks, and Seattle was stupid to get rid of him there. That's what it is.
Yeah, and I would definitely be eating crow if that happened 100%. So I am going to eliminate injuries from like any other team just because I really feel like that's the only way they can win this division. But if the Broncos win the division, their wide receiver core stepped up. We saw Jerry Jeudy not in jail. We saw Cortland Sutherland actually start to excel and be a top receiver that he can be. And Russ and this receiver core grew hands and bounds from week 1 to week 17. I mean, because week 1, let's just be honest, is probably going to be shaky for the whole team. Jerry Jeudy probably won't be there. He's probably going to get suspended for a few games, at least. So for the Denver Broncos to win this division, Wyatt, the wide receiver core has to step up and be a top 5 receiving core in the NFL. That's what I truly feel. All right, so moving on to the next one here. If you guys can catch the theme here. If the Las Vegas Raiders win the division, Wyatt, then
Davante Adams is still the number 1 wide receiver in the league, and Derek Carr and him have an unbelievable connection. I think this is actually more likely than the Broncos winning it, but still, I would be pretty, I don't know. Gosh, I think it's up between the Chiefs and Chargers, but I still think the Raiders have a real shot in there, especially because they're the team that did make the playoffs last year,
right?
Over the Chargers. So, yeah, if the Raiders win it or win the division, then Davante Adams is still the number 1 wide receiver in the league, and his connection with Derek Carr is just like it was at Fresno State.
Yeah, and just to think if we could flash back 6-7 months to a gentleman's handshake and end in a tie, the Chargers and the Raiders could have both been in the playoffs, right? But we digress from that. So if the Raiders win the division, it is because Josh Jacobs is the running back for Las Vegas, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Josh Jacobs, exactly.
Kenyon Drake is there as well.
So exactly what I said about the Kansas City Chiefs. They are going to fight fire with fire, and that's keep their offense on the field and run the ball. Just because we all expect Derek Carr to kind of light it up with Davante Adams, and I feel like Davante Adams is going to get double teamed a lot, and Derek Carr might try to force the ball down the field and throw a lot of interceptions. And how do you break that double team, Wyatt? How do you get that extra guy in the box? Be effective on the running game. Josh Jacobs needs to have a very successful season. If Josh Jacobs gets around 17 to 18 touches per game on the ground, the Raiders could possibly win a lot of games in the first half of the season, because we know the Raiders are a great first half team. They usually fall apart in the second half for the last 10 years, like it seems like. So to be effective long term, they have to run the ball. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think Josh Jacobs has kind of been the weak point in this offense for the last couple of years. You know, I mean, even Darren Waller has stepped up huge and made leaps and bounds as a tight end. I mean, he has skyrocketed himself from irrelevance to a top 3 tight end in the league. So Darren Waller has even stepped up. Derek Carr, I have never been more impressed by an NFL player other than Derek Carr, simply because, I mean, look at last year. His wide receiver had – I don't even want to say why. His entire team had so many issues. His coach got on the chopping block there toward the middle of the season. He handled that incredibly. His wide receiver had some issues, obviously, and he lost Ruggs. And still then he didn't lose his cool. He's had countless people get on his team get arrested for like just terrible things like armed robbery last year. And he had his head on his shoulders straight every single day last year. I mean, I was beyond impressed by the way he handled himself, by the way that he carried that team by himself, essentially, to the playoffs. I mean, Derek Carr, hats off to Derek Carr. So Derek Carr has made leaps and bounds as a quarterback. And then you look at even their offensive line has made a lot of step ups. I was pretty surprised that this offseason they didn't go after Bieniemy in Kansas City. I was decently surprised at that. I thought for sure, especially once Gruden got fired, that Bieniemy was going to be the guy there because, you know, it's AFC West team. They face him all the time. They clearly know how incredible of an offensive mind that Bieniemy is. So I was really shocked that he didn't get that job. But they've made a lot of steps forward this offseason. They got Devontae Adams, and Devontae just absolutely opens up so many things for your offense. You talked about him being double teamed. That stuff does not matter with Devontae. I have seen plays where Devontae Adams is running down the field all by himself, and there are 2 cornerbacks and a safety trailing his ass, trying to catch him. I have seen some crazy stuff with Devontae Adams. So, I mean, they got him. They also got Chandler Jones on the defensive side. Max Crosby is coming out to be a great defensive end who could be he's who they got off of the Khalil Mack trade. And I think at this point they won that trade. So they have just made so many great moves. I mean, so many great moves, and they've got an A quarterback. They've got everything they need. If Josh Jacobs can't get it going with this team, then they got to go elsewhere at the running back position. So I don't necessarily think it all completely rides on Josh Jacobs' shoulders, but I do think he'll play a huge role in this offense, and his run game will be very influential for how good this team is. If the run game is really good, I think this is a Super Bowl team. I think this is absolutely a Super Bowl caliber team. And if his run game is subpar and kind of average, then I think they're a playoff team. I don't know if they're a Super Bowl team. I mean, you need to win a Super Bowl, you need all positions on the football field playing very well, playing great football. And for them to be able to do that, they're going to need Josh Jacobs 100% in tune. And I think Josh Jacobs can be that guy. We've seen Josh Jacobs be that guy, but it's all going to depend on, it's all up to him.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question. Is Derek Carr the most overlooked quarterback in all of the NFL? Because if we look back at his stats, he improves each and every season. And each and every season, his name gets thrown out there for trade bait. Oh, there's somebody better than Derek Carr. Oh, he is like the Las Vegas Raiders don't want him. Yada yada yada. Like, first things first, is he overrated? And why do you think he is consistently trade bait, like on the trading block?
I don't know that, honestly, and I think he is absolutely the most underrated quarterback in the league. I had a hot take last year with my friends that Derek Carr is possibly a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Like for leadership skills, for on the field play, for just the way he handles himself in the worst situations ever. He impressed me so much last year. So while I don't necessarily think he's a top 5 quarterback, I think he definitely could be this year. I think he's definitely making a lot of movement towards that, and I think he's for sure in my mind a top 10 guy. If I had to build around anybody in the league, Derek Carr is definitely one of the names I'm thinking about.
Yeah, so
for sure.
So when people make their top 5 list or like their top 10 list, like a lot of people out there, I'm not going to name names, Brandon Combs, they use a lot of stats, right? They want to say, oh, he threw for 4,000 yards and 15 interceptions, right? sometimes why you just have to use your eye test, like you have to use your gut, and sometimes you have to throw stats out of it. And you are exactly spot on with Derek Carr. Derek Carr is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Let me digress a little bit. He is a top 5 quarterback in the AFC. NFL, he's probably top 7, right? But if you look at his stats, he is like 11, 12, 13 range. So like I definitely feel everything that you said, like his leadership skills, his football IQ, and just the will to win definitely elevates him into a top 5 quarterback in the AFC 100%. Why? Like you are spot on like about that. So
and I'll even go a little farther on that too with the stats thing. If you look at his first 5 weeks of the year last year, he was on pace for like 6,000 passing yards.
Right.
I mean, he was on pace for something ridiculous. That, like,
and they were winning games too, right? Like they were
winning a lot of games.
They were undefeated, I think, like at that particular point, right?
They won. Yeah, they did. Yeah. They won a lot of games there in the beginning. They're a really good team. A lot of people are not ready for how good the Raiders are. They're a really, really, really good team. I think more or less it also depends on the coaching situation too.
Right. Josh McDaniels, right? He's the head coach over there now.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Does the NFL not want the Raiders to be good? Because of everything that you said, Derek Carr was on pace for 6,000 yards. They were 5-0, 6-0, right? And then all of a sudden, these emails leaked out, right, from John, and then what I believe is the Commanders' ownership, right?
Hey, Gruden, brother.
Yeah. So he wasn't even coaching in the NFL at that particular time, but I feel like the NFL kind of singled him out because they do not want the Raiders to be good because of Al Davis always trying to sue the NFL and this and this and this, and they kind of have a grudge like from years past, from like back when Al Davis was like the man, right? So do you think that is any type of indication like the Raiders will never win the Super Bowl underneath the current leadership in the NFL?
No, definitely not. No, I just think that I think it was really, really unfortunate timing. That's pretty much all. I think that that John Gruden had some skeletons in his trunk, and somebody accidentally popped the trunk. I think that's really all.
So here's the problem like with that, Wyatt. There were other people. So you just don't email your self, right? You are emailing with somebody or correspondence, right? What happened when John Gruden got fired? Did you ever hear about these emails ever again? Absolutely not, because I am going to play the conspiracy card. The NFL does not want the Raiders to be good. They do not want playoff teams going to Vegas and partying the night, after or before a playoff game, because we see what happens in Vegas. People die all the time, right? Thanks to Henry Ruggs and their dogs. But the NFL just doesn't want them to be good because of Al Davis's past history. Like, sorry, why? Like, it is what it is. Was that too soon? Why?
Yes. That's too soon for a long time.
So, speaking of too soon, I had a coworker die at work, not at work, but he died Monday, right? And we found him because he didn't show up to like work. And this particular office that the guy sits in, there has been four people that have passed away in that office in the last 5 years, Wyatt. Do you think that office is cursed? Like, do you think that's too soon to like say, hey, I don't want this office, boss. I'm afraid I'm going to die. That is
4 people in the last 5 years have died, and they've all been in this office.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some kind of bad juju going on in there, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about all that stuff.
Should I turn this software? Should I turn this software engineer job down? Why? Just because of that fact?
Unless if they offer a different workspace, I don't know.
Can I just work from home, boss?
Right. Okay, I got an office at home that works really well, and I won't die in it. So,
wow.
Oh my gosh, 4 people have died in this. That have all worked in this office.
Yep, in the last five years.
I cannot believe that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyways.
Oh my, that's terrible. That's horrible.
Yeah, it's so there actually is a
Yeah,
rumor.
Buck, I don't know if you should take that, man.
Yeah. Well,
rumor what?
So there's like this kind of passive joke that's happening, like around the office, like who was going to die next? Ha ha ha. Is that too soon? Definitely 100%. Anyways, moving on. Next if and then statement here. We have 2 left here, Wyatt. If the Los Angeles Chargers win the AFC West, then
you go first. I can't.
Then Herbert is that guy. Justin Herbert is the top 5 quarterback in the NFL. If the Chargers, should I give a spoiler alert? When the Chargers win the AFC West, it is because Justin Herbert is that damn good. Just like what you said about Russ, let Russ cook, yada, yada, yada. Justin Herbert doesn't need to cook. Justin Herbert just needs to be average, and this Chargers team is going to be damn freaking good. So if Justin Herbert plays up to his potential this season, then the Chargers will win the division. So if the Chargers win the division, Justin Herbert plays to his potential. So simple as that.
Yeah, no, I would say if the Chargers win this division, also that I do agree with the Herbert statement, but I don't just want to jump on the J Herbo bandwagon here and just I don't want both of us to say the same thing. So I'll take it. I'll go one step further with the Chargers win the AFC West. Then their defense was insane. Like all these defensive signings they did in this offseason, J.C. Jackson pairing him up with Derwin James. They're going to have Khalil Mack rushing the quarterback now. So this defense has made a lot of strides forward and done a lot of really good things. So yeah, if the Chargers win the AFC West, then I think their defense really is what everybody thinks that it's going to be.
Yeah, and also if the Chargers win the West, we probably won't be questioning the Mike signing as well. Mike, the wide receiver that they signed for a pretty hefty price tag there. So
Mike Williams.
Yeah. So
I don't know though. Mike Williams is he's a key piece to that offense. He's starting to blossom too. I mean, like last year for the first 5 weeks of the season, he was better than Keenan Allen, and Keenan Allen is good.
Yeah.
Like good.
Yeah.
So if and then they've got Austin Eckler as well. They've got a nice offensive line they're building up here.
Who is their tight end there?
Herbo.
Don't they have a pretty good tight end over there as well?
Well, they had Jared Cook, but I think Jared Cook, I think he retired.
Did he?
So they have Gerald Everett now.
Okay.
They had Hunter Henry for a while, and if this team could have kept Hunter Henry, this would have been a nasty squad. I mean, a nasty squad. These guys would have been crazy. But
are we talking 14 wins?
Are
we talking 14 wins?
I think if Hunter Henry's there, this team is a 13-14 win team. Yeah. I think the tight end position is really the only position they have that's, not A. And I still think it's a solid B because it's Gerald Everett. Gerald Everett's a good tight end. So their wide receiver core is incredible. They've got Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Their running back core is wildly great as well. They've got Austin Eckler. They've got what could be the best, or if not the best, one of the best upcoming quarterbacks in Jay Herbo. This offense is high powered, got a lot of weapons. They've got a great quarterback at the helm. They've got a good head coach. Their defense is now stacking up. So, I think this is a really good team.
All right, so our final if and then statement before we start breaking down the AFC West schedule for this year, Wyatt. The next one is, if Patrick Mahomes wins the MVP, then
Travis Kelce had 1,500 plus receiving yards.
I like it.
Travis Kelce's gonna have to. Travis Kelce, that's going to be a good pair. And Juju Smith-Schuster follows very closely behind that with about 1,000 receiving yards. And Sky Moore would probably have 750. And
Paul Hardman's probably got a couple,
MVS.
right?
MVS is going to have 750, 500. So if he's able to do that, then Pat's like that. But we already know Pat's like that. Patrick Mahomes is what could be the best quarterback in the league. He's on road to being a top 5, top 10 quarterback of all time already. So
exactly right. Yep.
So yeah.
So
yeah.
Fun fact: Patrick Mahomes has more playoff wins than the Las Vegas Raiders since 1992. So let's just go ahead and throw that out there.
I believe that.
But
I do believe that.
I'm going to go the complete opposite way here, Wyatt. Now, I do agree that Travis Kelce and like all those guys will probably have pretty good seasons, right? But if Patrick Mahomes wins the MVP, the Kansas City Chiefs are a first-round playoff exit because because of everything that I said earlier. How they're going to win a lot of games is they're going to have to learn how to run the ball effectively. They're going to have to get 25 to 30 carries per game and basically kind of keep Patrick Mahomes from shooting himself in the foot like he did early in the season last year. Now, I'm not saying he is a bad quarterback. Do not get the word get twisted and tangled and clip this and like all that other crap. Like, don't say that. But I'm saying if he throws, if he is a MVP caliber quarterback, like winning the MVP, it is because the Kansas City Chiefs are throwing the ball way too much this year. So they will be a first round exit if Patrick Mahomes wins the MVP. I feel like you do not agree with that at all, Wyatt.
Not quite.
Why not?
Patrick Mahomes is not a first round exit. He's just not. I mean, even when he won his MVP a couple of years ago, they lost to Tom Brady the game before the Super Bowl, and Tom ended up going on to win the Super Bowl.
Do not bring that up. I still hate D4 to this day. How do you line up 5 yards offsides, Wyatt? Seriously, how do you line up 5 yards? And I didn't know what I was doing, coach. Shut the fuck up. God, I hate that guy. I hope he stubs his pinky toe on like on the couch every morning he gets up. That's what I hope.
Yeah, no, that was bad, but no, Patrick Mahomes is just not a first round exit guy. I really don't think so. I don't think, and especially if he wins the MVP, then that means that the Kansas City Chiefs are a 14-13 win team. So that team's not losing. I'll get this. You ready?
Yeah.
If Patrick Mahomes wins the MVP, then Sky Moore is Rookie of the Year and Travis Kelce is Offensive Player of the Year.
Okay. I mean, I like where your head's at. Like, I would jump on that bandwagon, but my man hour non-fandom bias is I don't have faith in it. But we are up against the next break, Wyatt. On hour number 2, we're going to be breaking down the AFC West guys, starting with the Kansas City Chiefs. And then we got the Denver Broncos, the Las Vegas Raiders, ending up with the Los Angeles Chargers. We're going to break down all those games, give you key matchups, and the winner of the division. Spoiler alert, Wyatt does not think the Broncos are going to win more than 5 games.
That's not true.
That's not true at all.
That's not true at all.
All right. We'll be right back, guys.
That's not true.
Once I'm home from work and relaxing,
I watch Man Hour while doing dishes.
In bed, hiding from your wife and kids.
what do you do when your husband and kid are obsessed with the Man Hour? You watch it with them.
Have you ever wanted to go to Vegas to see the NFL draft? Well, now you can. Simply head over to youtube.com/manhour, click on that join button, become a $5.99 member or higher, and you get free entry. Simple as that. So head over to youtube.com/manhour and hit that join button. You won't regret it. You're watching Man Hour. Hit that like button, baby.
Man Hour Nation, it's your boy BC Beastie Brandon Combs coming to you with a special message. 22 veterans a day commit suicide. Now, that's 22 too many. And here at the Man Hour, we want to bring awareness to this. Our brothers and sisters deserve our support and our help with the Take 22 merch. It's a small opportunity to show our appreciation and support to our veterans and take a small step to ending veteran suicide and treating PTSD properly. Every dollar spent on our Take 22 merch will be donated to the cause. So Man Hour Nation, rise up and show your support.
Welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Bakasha alongside Wyatt Williams tonight. If you haven't done so already, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and also bell icons. We do upload clips, and we are live 5 days a week, actually probably 10 times a week, depending on when my work schedule decides to let me work and stay at home and all that good stuff. But this section of Man Hour, guys, is brought to you by Brooks Roofing and Siding. We are in that tornado season here in the Midwest, hail season. Brooks Roofing and Siding will have you covered if hail or something comes through and you need that new roof. They went for battle for me last season when we had hail come through, and my insurance company basically said we're not paying for that. Mr. Travis Brooks himself said, hold my beer, Buck, watch this, and bada bing, bada boom, brand new roof. And guess what, guys? He had his beer in the Man Hour tumbler, so his wife did not know that he said, hold my beer, because it was in that Man Hour tumbler. You can get the Man Hour tumbler for $19.99 over at manhourradio.com. Click on the merch page. What, Wyatt? Welcome back to the show, man. You got your beautiful face on the screen. Follow Wyatt on the Twitter machine at _ Wyatt Williams. What's up, Wyatt? Are you ready for your final tomorrow, man?
I am. I'm excited. My teacher told us to bring something that we're very passionate about, and through getting to broadcast all across the state of Indiana with the IHSAA, I got to meet some incredible people who are currently college athletes. Many of them who I've been friends with for years now, including Trey, who I do a podcast with. And I've never thought that the NIL deals, any of that stuff, I never thought that college athletes getting paid or not getting paid was fair. And so he said, bring something in that you're pissed off about. And so I get to talk about that now. So I'm really excited. Plus, then on top of that, tomorrow, this is spoiler alert for any family members who are watching right now. This is to see who's watching. This is it right here. I'm after my final tomorrow. So I go, my air time is at 1:15 on Full Sail Live. After that is over with, I run straight to the bathroom, change out of my suit, and I'll be in regular closing, and I'm booking it to Indiana, coming home. So I'm excited. I'm coming home till Tuesday, so not very long. I've got to be right back down here for class on the following Wednesday. But my teachers are really cool. I have a teacher right now, Mac McDonald. He works with the ACC network and has a podcast as well. He is awesome. And he basically told me, family is incredibly important. So go home and be there for my brother's graduating. So I'm going to go to his graduation party and stuff. So yeah, I'm going home for that. So I'm really excited. Tomorrow's a big day. I'm excited for the final. I've been working on it all day, getting it ready. And like I said, it's something I'm passionate about. So I'm really excited to talk about that. And I think it's something I'm going to be able to put on my demo reel too. I spent a lot of hard work time to come up with this script, to put everything together. So put in the work, ready for a good product to come out. And then on top of that, I get to come home. So I'm excited.
Yeah, so coming home is always a big thing. Like me being a athlete in college, like I never got to come home during, fall break, spring break, I would be lucky to be able to come home like on a Friday night and stay for a day and then have to drive back Sunday, right? And why, like, you treasure like those 24 hours that you get to hug your mom and like all that stuff. It is really right. really exciting. We do have a T-ball game Monday, so River's going to be excited to see you. Hopefully.
Me could probably come to that then.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, River, Buck, and Wyatt are best buds. Like, why it was probably about a year ago now, right? When you and Nikki first came over to the house, and River was jumping off the top of the couch at our old house, dropping those elbows on you guys, and
yes.
Yeah, because
he's a wild man.
yeah.
River's my favorite man. I love Trip as well.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see those boys. I'm excited to see everybody, man. I'm excited
Yeah.
to see my family. I haven't been home since Christmas. Like
Right.
this is only this since I've been down here for this entire school year so far. I've only come home once.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to go home and see the family, see friends, see obviously family, friends and stuff like that, close friends, and get to see the Buck boys, get to see everybody over at Jeff. I'm gonna go pay them a visit, and I'm really pumped to see everybody. So it's gonna be awesome.
We are definitely pumped to see you as well, and I know your Nana misses you dearly. So I talk to her at least once a week just to touch bases because I know she's missing you and she needs to fill that void. And I am the number one grandson now, even though I'm not blood. So I just want to make sure that you know that. So with that being said, Wyatt, we are going to transition here back into the sports talk, back into the AFC West, and we are going to give you guys some key games, the records of like all 4 teams in the AFC West, and who wins the West division. So we are going to start with the defending champs, and that is the Kansas City Chiefs, Wyatt. So when I look at the Kansas City Chiefs schedule here, I'm like, man, when do they get a break? Because it is just game after game after game. Whereas like they, just like the Arizona Cardinals, they could easily start 0-6, 0-7 on the season. So the first game that I have circled is obviously that week 6 game here. So before I talk about that game, I want to tell you guys who I have winning the first 5 games of the season. I had them beating the Cardinals, I had them beating the Chargers, had them beating the Colts, losing to the Bucks, beating the Raiders at home on Monday night. And then this is the pivotal game of the season for the Kansas City Chiefs. Why is this week 6 matchup versus Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills? So spoiler alert, I have the Kansas City Chiefs right now going 11-6. I have them beating the Buffalo Bills in this week six game. But looking back on it, why I had the Kansas City Chiefs going 8-0 at home. The Kansas City Chiefs have not gone undefeated at home for 7 years. 7 years they have not gone undefeated at home. Yes, this is the loudest stadium in the world. Yes, they have a great team. Yes, the defense is going to be much improved. But going 8-0 at home, that is a stretch for me. So right here on the air, that week 6 matchup, I am going to pick the Buffalo Bills beating the Kansas City Chiefs at home, and I have them going 10-7 on season. Do they make the playoffs? I don't know yet. We have not broken down the rest of the AFC, but looking at it hindsight, I don't think 10 wins, Wyatt, is enough to get into the playoffs because the AFC is so loaded. And Combs, as a Chiefs fan, it hurts me to say this, but Combs might be right. The Kansas City Chiefs might be on the outside in looking into the playoffs. Wyatt, what are your thoughts about this year's schedule?
Well, as I look at the schedule here, there is a total of 1, 2, 3 being the Jaguars, Texans, and Seahawks. There are like 3 gimme games on the schedule, but it does not matter. It does not matter. They play the Cardinals in week 1. Oh my gosh, Dan, they got Cardinals, that's a playoff team week 1. Week 2, they got the Chargers, that's a playoff team. Colts, that's a playoff team. Then the Buccaneers, that's a playoff team. Then the Raiders, that's a playoff team. Then the Bills, that's a playoff team. Then the Niners, that's a playoff team. Then the Titans, a possible playoff team. Wow. The first 8 weeks of the season, they play possible playoff teams. I mean, all guys who could be in the playoffs. And then they play the Jags after that. And then they're right back into the fire. They play the Chargers, then the Rams, then the Bengals. Then they play the Super Bowl champions. Then the very following week, they play the Super Bowl runner-up. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Then they got the Broncos at Mile High. Jesus! Then they get 2 gimme weeks back to back. They play at NRG Stadium in Houston. Played the Texans. Then they play the Seahawks at home. So those are 2 nice games. And then the real test comes. Those final 2 games are going to be so vitally important. I still have them winning 10 games this year, and I still think they'll make the playoffs. One of these 4 teams in this division is going to get injured, and they're going to be the team that falls out of it. If Kansas City stays completely healthy, there's not a doubt in my mind they still make the playoffs. They're still a 10-winning team. I get it. They lost Tyreek. They still got Travis Kelce. They picked up Juju Smith-Schuster. They got Sky Moore. They got Marquez Valdez-Scantling. They've got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They've got a defense that's still, while it's not the greatest defense in the league, they've still got a capable defense. And the most important thing, they've got the Magic Man. They've got Patrick Mahomes. That's all you need. He will get you to the playoffs. He is that guy. So I still got him winning 10 games. And looking at this here, my key games for this, obviously, you could go with any of the first 8 games as key games. But the 2 main ones that I'm really looking at are week 17 and week 18. They play the Broncos at home and they play the Raiders in Vegas. If they win these 2 games, they're for sure, in my opinion, going to make the playoffs. Those are the make or break games, though. That right there is, if they lose those games, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. So if they can end the season in the last 4 games, if they can win 3 of those games, I think that they make the playoffs. They can possibly give up 1 to the Raiders or 1 to the Broncos. They can't give up both, though.
Yeah.
This division is just way too good. They're ridiculous.
You are 100% correct on that. So the Kansas City Chiefs are the first team ever, Wyatt, to play the first 8 games of the season from playoff teams from the previous year. So
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, so they definitely had their work out cut for them. But on the other side of the coin, they only had it was the 5th hardest schedule in the NFL. So it's not even the hardest schedule. But moving on, before we get too carried away, what's up, Drew? We see you in the chat, man. He says, "Howdy, Buck. Howdy, Wyatt." Drew, we miss you. Thank you for joining, man. Be sure to hit that.
I gave you a shout out earlier, man.
Yeah. He is.
I want to make sure you heard the shout out.
Yeah. Tell him why you shouted him out, Wyatt, before I get to mute you.
I'm
kidding.
I shouted him out because of the text message Drew sent me. For those who didn't hear it earlier, let me read this here. This was part of my rant at the beginning of the show. Drew texted me and said, "Wyatt, please get your ass on the show. We need somebody to stop. We needed somebody to try and stop Buck's insane rambling." And then he said, "Help us," in all caps.
Love it.
And that was whenever he was giving his top 5 running backs list. So,
yeah.
Oh man, Drew is a character. I love that guy.
Yeah, we are definitely happy to have Drew and Alpha Rob, but Besley very active here in the Man Hour Nation. We definitely appreciate you guys up very, very much. So moving on here to the next team here, why are the Denver Broncos? They missed the playoffs last year. They fired their head coach. They traded off their quarterback, their tight end, their defensive end, 17 picks for the next 14 years, and to get Russell Wilson and a brand new head coach. So when we look at their schedule, they open up on the road versus the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, I had them losing that game. If you guys were here yesterday, we broke down the Seahawks. But the pivotal game that I have, Wyatt, are these week 6, 7, and 8 games. So week 6, it is a Monday night game. They travel to SoFi Stadium to take on the LA Chargers. And then they have the Jets at home, and they travel to Florida to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I had them losing all 3 of these games. If somehow, some way, they can win 3 out of 3 of these games, they are a playoff team. Just because they will get the momentum, start rolling downhill. But I had them going 0-3 in the stretch. I actually had them losing 5 straight from week 4 to week 11. Actually, that's six straight. I had them losing to the Raiders, Colts, Chargers, Jets, Jaguars, and then the Titans. And then they finally get a win again, week 11 over the Las Vegas Raiders. So with that being said, I do have them going 6-2 at home. Mile High is a very tough stadium to play, very good home field advantage. But I had them only going 7-10 on the season. I just don't have very good faith in this team. Yeah, 7-10.
Buck. 7?
7 wins, buddy.
Oh man. I mean, I think, oh gosh, the bar minimum low for me is 8 wins, and that's the lowest I think they probably end up with around 9, could be 10. I think this is the team that'll be on the outside looking into the playoffs. As much as I hate to say it, I really want Russ to do cool things. And I think the highlight of the year for this team is whenever they beat Seattle in the first game of the year. That's the biggest one I'm circling. I'll be watching that game. I don't care if it's a blowout. I don't care if it's a tight game, medium game. I don't care what the outcome is. I'll be watching that game because I want to see what happens when Russ returns to Seattle. Then they play the Texans. That's a win. So I think they start out 2-0. They play the Niners. That's probably a loss. Then they play the Raiders. It's probably a loss. So 2-2, quick down there. Russ always plays really good against the Colts. I don't know what it is, but he just always brings it against Indianapolis. So I'll give him the win there. Then they play the Chargers. I'll give him the win there. They play the Jets. I'll give him the win there. Then they play the Jags. I mean, they've got a relatively easy schedule. And on top of that, they got the Panthers as well. They do have Baltimore. That could be a tough one. As well as they got the Cardinals and the Rams. So their big one is at the end of the year. At the end of the year, they've got to win those pivotal games. They got to beat the Cardinals. They're going to have to beat the Rams. They're going to have to beat the Chiefs. And they're going to have to beat the Chargers if they're going to squeeze into the playoffs. But I could really see this team being a 10-win team that's on the outside of the playoffs looking in. I think this is the one.
So if we look at their final, let's look at the final 6 games of the season, Wyatt. They play a terrible Baltimore team. They could be much improved, right? They could be going from last to first place here. But week 14, they have Kansas City Chiefs at home. They have the Cardinals at home. They travel to LA to take on the Rams, and then they travel to Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs, and then they finish up the season with the Chargers at home. I had them actually going 3-2 in that stretch with wins over the Chiefs, Cardinals, and the Chargers all at home, and then they lose the 2 games on the road. So you are telling
me a tough place to play.
Say that again.
I said, yeah, Mile High is a tough place to play. I agreed with you.
Right. So if you think they go 3-2 in those last 5 games that they are a playoff team, is that what you're saying?
No. I'm saying if they win 5 out of those last 6 games, I think they make the playoffs.
Okay.
But they're gonna have to win 5 out of those 6 games, and they play the Ravens, who could be a playoff team. They play the Chiefs, who I think are a playoff team. They play the Cardinals, who are a playoff team in the NFC. They play the Rams, who are a playoff team in the NFC, a Super Bowl contender in the NFC. They play the Chiefs, who are a contender in the AFC and a playoff team. And then they play the Chargers. So they're gonna have to muster out at least 5 wins in that series. They're gonna have to.
Yeah,
and they're not making the playoffs.
And I don't see that happening.
That right there, they could really close out their season 0-6 right there. They really actually could. Their last win of the season could be against the Panthers in Carolina.
Yeah, so
we really don't know how good Carolina is either. Sorry, go ahead.
But if they finish out the season 0-6 and using your justification from earlier, they could start the season 2-3 to 2-2. There's 10 losses on the season right there, Wyatt.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So I mean, 7-10 isn't it far?
I'll backpedal. Yeah, I'll backpedal on that one. I'll give you that. They could be 7-10. You're right.
Which
that one's on me.
Which honestly, it is weird because if we think about it, yes, they started the season last year 0-4 and 0-5, right? But then they won like 6 or 7 games in a row. They got hot, right? People were thinking like, man, this team is good. And then they fell off again, right? So,
and then they face planted,
right? So, if they can duplicate those 7 games again, right? That they won 7, like it may have been 6 in a row, but like either way, let's say they duplicate that, they are a good. They could possibly be a very good team. And getting right at the hot time in the NFL is very, very key. So, speaking of getting right at the right time. The Raiders never seem to get right at the hot time. They're right. They're hot at the
right at the hot time.
They are hot at the beginning of the season, and they sizzle out toward the end of the season. It never fails.
They do. They're not right at the hot time. They're not.
So, Wyatt, I am going to give you the floor first here. Tell me about the Raiders.
Well, I'll tell you what. In the preseason, they play the Jags, and I think that's going to be a tough. No, I'm just kidding. They've got a tough. Really, this AFC West has got a tough run at it this year. They all have to play the NFC West. They've got to play the AFC West twice. So they got a major setback right there. But still, these teams are really good and capable. So with that being said, I think they start out the season 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0. They win their first 4 games. They lose to the Chiefs. Then they beat the Texans. That's 5-1. They'll beat the Saints. That's 6-1. They'll beat the Jags. That's 7-1. They lose to the Colts, 7-2. They'll beat the Broncos, 8-2. So let's see, that's 8 wins. Seattle, they'll beat Seattle. That's 9 wins. They'll lose to the Chargers there. They'll lose to the Rams. They'll beat the Patriots. That's 10 wins. They'll lose to the Steelers.
Oh.
Yeah. Steelers are a sneaky team this year. I really think so.
I was thinking about the Patriots because isn't Bill Belichick undefeated against his former assistants in the NFL?
You're thinking of Nick Saban.
But I thought Bill Belichick was...
Maybe. I mean, hey, they're both in the same stature there.
Right.
So that could be. I mean, technically, Nick Saban is the Bill Belichick of college football. So I'm not 100% sure. He probably is, though. That's, now that I think about it, he probably is. And with that being said, yeah, because it's been Matt Patricia in Detroit, trash. I don't know, man. Josh McDaniels got a heck of a squad here. I think Josh McDaniels could be the first one, and they're playing in Vegas too, so that just adds to it. That just adds to it right there. And McDaniels knows Belichick better than anybody outside of, I would say, Tom Brady in the National Football League. So Belichick is, Josh McDaniels has been his right hand man for the longest time. So I think if anybody's going to do it, it's probably going to be McDaniels. So with that being said, I'll give him the win there. I got them at 10 wins. Then they play the Niners. I'll say they lose that, and then I'll say that they beat the Chiefs in their last game on January 8th. And I'll give them 11 wins. I'll say they're 11-6 this year.
Wow. So
good team. It's a good football team. And don't mistake that 11-6 for being like a non-Super Bowl contender. Because normally we look at the teams that have 13 wins and we're like, 12 and up wins are your Super Bowl contenders. This is a Super Bowl contender, 100%. All 4 AFC West teams, if any of the AFC West teams that make the playoffs are a Super Bowl contender. I don't care if they're a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seed. It does not matter. They are all Super Bowl contenders, and it doesn't matter where they come in at.
Wow. So we do agree on a couple things here. Is it if a AFC West team does make it to the playoffs, they're definitely going to be Super Bowl contenders. We do agree on the Week 18 game as well, where the Raiders will beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But that is pretty much where our agreement stops here. Why? I had the Raiders going 6-11 this particular season. I had them losing to the Chargers opening weekend. I had them beating the Cardinals week 2. The Titans, they lose to the Titans. They beat the Broncos at home. They lose to the Chiefs on Monday night here. And this is where their season just starts to go downhill. They have a bye week. And what happens last year on the Raiders during the bye week? Oh, that's right. Henry Ruggs decides to drive 115 miles an hour and kill a dog, right? Houston Texans come into town, and I think the Houston Texans and Davis Mills beat the Raiders in Week 7. The Saints beat the Raiders in Week 8. The Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Raiders in Week 9. The wheels are falling off here. Why are you catching the drift here? Week 10.
No, I'm not catching any of your drift.
Week 10, the Colts beat the Raiders in Vegas. Week 11, the Raiders travel to Mile High, lose to the Broncos. Finally, Week 12, they get a win over the Seahawks. And then they're like, hey, Week 13, let's win one more. So they beat the Chargers here. Why? So why? Do you know what happens when you win 3 games in a row? It's called a winning streak, right? It is called a winning streak. Well, guess what? The Raiders don't know what a winning streak is because then they travel to L.A. and get their ass whooped by the Rams. And then Bill Belichick comes into town and says, bad baby Josh McDaniels, you should have stayed here. Whoops that ass. Pittsburgh Steelers whoop that ass. And then finally, the final 2 weeks of the season, the San Francisco 49ers are playing for nothing like at this point. They are already their faith is pretty much sealed at 8-9 like at this point. They lose that game. The Kansas City Chiefs don't know what they're playing for, so they lose in Las Vegas as well. I had them going 6-11 this season. Why? Finishing last in the division. You can talk about Devontae Adams all you want. You can talk about how good Derek Carr is all you want. The fact of the matter is they are still the Las Vegas Raiders. You still have a unproven head
last year, Las
coach.
Vegas Raiders.
What's that?
The playoff team last year, Las Vegas Raiders. Hey, I got this little notepad here, and let's see what's written down here. Okay, yeah, that's about right. What's that say there? Oh yeah, Buck is crazy. Are you kidding me?
No, man.
You're losing it.
How am I losing it? Yeah, come on,
What
man.
are you,
Come on, baby.
Brandon Combs, and the age is getting up there, and it's just cloudy now. You can't think straight.
Yeah, that is true. I'm getting old as balls. but
The Raiders are not going to win just 6 games next year. I promise you that.
Okay.
Here comes the hair bet. I said I promise you that. Here comes the hair bet.
No, I think the hair bets are like all I done because City still kicks my ass every time I shave my head about June here because it's so freaking hot. But so I do not think they are going to get 11 wins, but I can give you 8 to 9 wins if they can handle this 3-game stretch here with the Texans, Saints, and like Jags. If they can get 3 wins there, that would put them in a winning record. That would put them at 9-8. So I can give you that. Would you like me to go to my playoff predictor and switch that? No, because Davis Mills is the man. Davis Mills is going to be like the savior in Houston. Houston, Texas might be a playoff team with Davis Mills there. The Saints, if Drew Brees comes back, watch out, baby. He is coming. What? Did I just say the Houston Texans were a playoff team with Davis Mills? Yes, because the rest of the AFC South is terrible.
I have never heard so much malarkey in my life.
That's a good word. I like that word. Malarkey.
Is that a good one?
Yeah.
I just thought of that one.
Yeah.
Oh, Buck, though. Come on, man. The Colts. The Titans are still, I mean, while, yes, they did lose their 2 wide receivers, they're still in this. They still got King Henry.
Yeah.
They did not lose their quarterback. They added one.
Yeah, but Ryan Tannehill's going bye-bye.
Gosh. Are you kidding?
We will find out later in the week when we break down the AFC South. Moving on.
So you dumped the Lions and you needed to pick up another team that there's no way they do it, and you picked up the Texans. Is that what you're telling me?
Why? What we call in the biz here is called a tease. It keeps the people coming back. You should know this. That's like Full Sell 101, right? Give them a tease.
Yes.
Make them come back. All right. So the final team in the division, why, are the Los Angeles Chargers. Let me push the clip button. So the Los Angeles Chargers obviously missed the playoffs last season because they did not want to tie with the Raiders and make it in there. So Wyatt, tell me how the Chargers are going to do in 2022.
Let's see here. They start out week 1 against the Raiders, who we just went over, and I had that as a loss for them. So then I think let's see here. They play the Chiefs. That's 0-2. But no need to fear, Chargers fans. You guys have the Jaguars, the Texans, and then the Browns, who are okay. Then the Broncos, who are good. Then the Seahawks. Then the Falcons. So right there off the bat, there's 8 games to start out the season. They're going to start out 6-2. 6-2. This is a good Chargers team. This Chargers team is really good. So they start out 6-2. Then they play the Niners. I think they'll beat the Niners. That is 7 wins. They play the Chiefs. They're not going to beat the Chiefs twice. That's a loss right there. Then they play the Cardinals. I'll give them the win there. That's 8 wins. Then they play the Raiders. I'll give them the win there. Then they play the Dolphins. That's 10 wins. Then they play the Titans. That's 11. Then they play the Colts. I'll give them a loss there. But in a weird scenario, they're going to beat the Rams. So I'll give them the 12th win there, and I'll say they beat the Broncos to round out the season with 13 wins at 13-4.
Wow.
High praise right now for this Chargers team.
Hey, Wyatt, can you hold up your piece of paper there and write out and scratch out Buck and put Wyatt there? Because Wyatt is crazy. Come on, baby. So Wyatt, we do agree on a couple things here. I do think the Chargers will start to see the season out 6-2 going into their bye week with losses in the Kansas City Chiefs week 2 on Thursday night, and then when they play the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland week 5. So, like, I do have them beating the Raiders, the Jaguars, the Texans, the Broncos, and Seahawks. Coming off of the bye week, I had them beating Atlanta as well. Now, this is kind of where it gets dicey for the Chargers, just because we don't know if they can handle adversity. And like week 10, I had that game circled as that adversity game, because the San Francisco 49ers are going to give them a different type of game that they haven't been used to all season long. The 49ers are very, very dominant on the ground. They will give you a lot of end arounds and trickery with like Debo, and they're going to try to win with defensive side of the ball. So with that, I do have the 49ers beating I do have the 49ers beating the Chargers that game, and then I had them beating the Chiefs, losing to the Cardinals, losing to the Raiders. And then this is the next game that I have circled as like as well, is week 16, Monday night, when they travel to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. This is a make or break it game for their season. If they can go into Indianapolis to beat the Colts, they will have that momentum to get hot and to definitely make a deep playoff run. But, Wyatt, I have them losing to the Colts, and then it is just a downward spiral. It is a snowball effect. They will lose to the Rams, and they will end out the season losing to the Broncos as well, finishing with a 9-8 record this season, second in the division. Now if they can beat the Colts in that week 16 matchup on Monday night, I do have them beating the Rams and the Broncos, but for playoff predictor purposes, I have them losing the final 3 games of the season. What are your thoughts on my picks?
I think you are insane. Insane. You only have one of these AFC West teams making the playoffs, or do you have 2?
I don't know. I have not broken down the rest of the AFC. This is the first AFC division that we have.
Well, I'm just asking you, do you think 1, 2, 3 of these teams make the playoffs?
So I think the
Obviously
AFC
one has to make it.
Yeah. So I think one team only makes it from this division, unfortunately, just because, like what we saw from the NFC West last season, was the division was so good that they literally just beat the dog crap out of each other, and they all just kind of basically flirted out, right? Same thing with the AFC North, right? I mean, everybody in the AFC North had 8 wins, but only I guess the Steelers and the Bengals both made it. But I just have one team making it.
I think there's actually 4 teams who could have double-digit wins for this division. I really do. I think that depending on how Denver plays, there could be 4 teams in this division. There could be a team that doesn't make the playoffs in this division and have double-digit wins.
Right. Which honestly, if you look at the AFC, it is so top-heavy. You have 12, 13 teams that could easily make a Super Bowl run if they make it. So yeah, I mean, there are going to be teams that have 10 or 11 wins not make the playoffs, i.e. the Miami Dolphins from a couple years ago, right? They had 11 wins and they still missed it. So, I mean, I definitely see that happening, but I do have the Kansas City Chiefs winning this division at 10-7.
That's because who made the playoffs, Buck? When the Dolphins didn't make it, your boy scratched in at the last second. Who is it?
Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
No,
I don't know.
Different AFC North team. Who's your boy? You're vouching for every team to pick him up in free agency or trade for him.
The Browns.
Your boy Baker Mayfield carried that team.
Who do you got winning the AFC West?
I think that it's the Chargers. I think the Chiefs just have one down year right now, and by down year that means that they make the playoffs and still probably go to the divisional and lose in the divisional or the AFC Championship. But I think they have a down year because they did lose the most explosive playmaker in the National Football League in Tyreek Hill. So obviously that's going to be you're gonna see some kind of a difference in the offense because of that. So with that being said, I think the Chargers sneak up there and take the most of these games. But I think it's a tight race for this division all the way down to the wire. I think the Chargers win the division, and then I think that either depending on who wins more games at the end of the season, between the Raiders and the Chiefs, they'll take second. I think that the Raiders and Chiefs, one of them finishes with 11 wins and one of them finishes with 10 wins, and 3 teams make the playoffs for this division.
So just to confirm, you have the Chargers winning 13 games, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. 12, 13, somewhere in there.
Okay. And then I had the Chiefs winning the division at 10 and 7. So we are almost on polar opposites on this division outlook.
Well, I have the Chiefs at 10 and 7.
Yeah, but I had the Chargers going 9 and 8, and then I had the rest of the division going 7 and 10, 6 and 11. So, I mean, as is, I feel this is a very good division. I just think they're going to beat up on each other, and they do have very tough strength of schedules. Unfortunately,
they do.
Yeah. So we have broken down both West teams. I have the Rams winning the NFC West. I have the Chiefs winning the AFC West here. So obviously we have the first 2 playoff teams in there. But Wyatt, it is that special time of night. The new game that we all know and love, Weddle. Guys, if you don't know what Weddle is a play on Wordle. If you guys remember, about a year ago, we used I forget what we called the game, but I had a athlete in my head, and Wyatt and Combs would like guess the athlete, and bada bing, bada boom.
Who?
It was guess who. Weddle stole it, Wyatt. They stole my idea. I should have patented that thing when I had the chance. But with that being said, as soon as Wyatt gets it pulled up, we are going to go easy mode and then go hard
You were
mode.
playing the music. I thought we were going to break. I'll get it pulled up. Never mind.
No,
Okay,
screw
bang, bang.
break.
I
I want to go see some boobs. All right, there you go. Do I want to click this button? Yeah, let's not that button.
All right.
What's going on? Nobody know what's going on. Give me 1 second. I got to move my screen over. Oh, man, I am like legitimately failing at life. So I added a 7th monitor to my setup here, which is definitely a overkill. But my screen capture is set for screen number 5. So I need to set it for screen number 7 here. And so we can get, that's not it. That is YouTube. We don't want to capture YouTube, do we? Nah. That's OBS. That's not it. Is this it?
Not quite.
That's not it. That is Playoff Predictor. There you go. I guess the 5th time's a charm. Wyatt, I got it, man. Hell yeah.
Oh.
Hell yeah, brother. Alrighty, man. As soon as I get the screen adjusted, so as always, guys, on the on this Weddle game, our first pick on easy is usually Patrick Mahomes, because it's right in the middle. It gives us, breaks it down, whatnot. So Wyatt, Patrick Mahomes, baby.
Patty Mahomes, let's do it. Bang. And starting off, okay, so he is an AFC player. He is not a quarterback. He's shorter than 6'3". He is either 25 or 24, and his number is above 15. So I'm kind of thinking
running back.
I think we go running back here possibly too. Yeah. So let's think of it. If he's not AFC West, so let's go AFC. You want to go AFC South running back? Just Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah, because he is the best running back going into 2022. I just want to throw this out here. Weddle has they have love for the short guys. I feel like everybody has been super short.
Yes, and this guy is really short. Look, he's either he's wow. He is he's either 5. So he's shorter than 5'9", 5'8". Yep. He's 5'7" or shorter. So immediately, what comes to my mind is Austin Eckler.
Yep.
And he's AFC West.
Hang on. It is not AFC West because Patrick Mahomes is AFC West.
Oh shoot, that's right.
You're right. We're looking at East or North running back.
You're right. Good save there. You want to go Miles Sanders? He's short. And
is he?
No, he's NFC. I'm so stupid. I'm gonna.
What about Kareem Hunt?
Kareem Hunt is.
Wait, hang on.
Kareem Hunt's no, because he's Kareem Hunt's older than Kareem Hunt's probably 26. He's probably older. He's older than Patrick, right? No. Him and Patrick were in the same draft, I think. So let's go AFC North running backs or AFC East running backs. The Dolphins. Oh, Chase Edmonds. You want to go Chase Edmonds?
Yeah.
Chase Edmonds is super short.
One of their 7 that they have on the roster. Okay.
Right.
East it is.
Okay, so he is an AFC East.
5'8".
Not
Jesus.
Miami. He is even shorter than 5'9". Wow. Okay, so
we have Patriots, Buffalo, and Jets, right?
Yes.
So
do we go Damian Harris?
For the Patriots tailback?
Yeah.
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 I was taking either that or the Jets running back. But yeah, Harris is a good one.
Michael Carter is shorter. Okay. Well, Michael Carter, Damian Harris only 5'11". Okay, so then so it's not Miami or New England. So it's
Jets
either
or
Buffalo
Buffalo.
running back or it's a Jets running back. So
pretty much narrows it down to either
Zach Moss, Devin Singletary for Buffalo, or for the Jets, it's going to be Michael Carter or Breece Hall. I think Michael Carter is probably where we go here. What do you think?
Yeah, because we're looking at a younger guy, right?
Yeah.
So, 24, 23 years old.
Wow. Okay, so it's
So he's 24.
Zach Moss?
Dude, he's shorter than 5'8". Jesus.
God.
What in
He's
the...
so tiny.
Wow.
Okay, so he's 24. We can at least know that now.
Yeah. He's
I guess
24.
we knew that here. So he's 24. He's
not on the
God,
Jets
he's
either.
got to be 5'7". I'm thinking Zach Moss. Zach Moss is pretty short, right?
Yeah, it's either Singletary or Zach Moss, right? Wow, he's okay.
Okay, so it's Devin Singletary.
Yeah, but I feel Singletary is a tall guy, isn't he? I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like all running backs are kind of shorter.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, let's try a.
We only have one guess left if we get this wrong. There we go.
There you go. Okay.
Devin
Woo.
Singletary.
Wow.
All right. Okay. Devin. Okay. Let's check the numbers here real quick. Devin Singletary is 5'7" only.
Good God.
That is short. That is like short for an NFL running back.
Well, that's
short
for.
This guy could absolutely strip my ankles of my body if he wanted to.
Dude, Combs is
Like,
taller than him, and Combs is a very short man. I mean, like I don't want to dog my guy while like he's not here, but dude, Combs is 5'8". Like I tower over that guy. I'm like,
this just goes to show that if Brandon Combs would not have focused on drinking and going into the military, he could have been a Buffalo Bills running back.
Yeah.
This right here shows that.
Well,
just kidding, Combs. We love you, man.
Yeah. The problem is Combs is he is speed challenged, so he's not very fast, Wyatt.
He's a baseball guy too. We'll give him that.
He runs 90 feet at a time. Congratulations. All right.
So now we've got Weddle hard mode, which Weddle easy mode, which we just played, is only skill positions. Now Weddle hard mode is anybody in the National Football League.
So on the bright side, we haven't had any linemen yet. It's usually been like linebackers and safeties, right? So
it's always corners and stuff like that. Yeah. So I say today we start out with defense just to try and get ahead of it instead of wasting a guess.
On the NFC side as well.
NFC defense.
Yep.
You wanna go with Zadarius Smith?
I like that name.
Zadarius Smith.
Should have named my son that.
He's with the Vikings now. Okay, so he's an NFC defensive player. He's not a linebacker. He's way short. Okay, so he's got to be a corner or a safety. He's younger and his number is higher. So yeah, I'm thinking for sure got to be a corner.
Well, no. So his number's higher than 55. So that pretty much rules out corners. So we're looking at it. I mean, it has to. I mean, what corner do you think is going to be like 60 and 80?
That's true.
It's probably an edge rusher.
A shorter edge rusher. Okay,
Yeah.
So it's not NFC North, so it's either NFC. Well, do you want to just start like narrowing down the divisions and teams real quick? So you want to just go with an edge rusher from the South, East, or West?
Sure, that sounds great.
Let's go with a shorter. Actually, let's go with Brian Burns. He's pretty short, I thought at least. Okay, so we know it's not. Okay, so it's not a defensive end. I thought Brian Burns was shorter. I don't know why I thought that. I was way off. NFC East, not a defensive end. Huh. Okay, so
and
it's not NFC South. So at least we have it down to the East or West now.
So he's 25 as well, right? So
Yes.
Or 25 or
Well, he's either
26.
25 or 26.
Okay. So we're looking at a
So-
older. I mean, is a edge rusher classified as a defensive end?
Yeah.
I
think so.
mean, it could be nose guard, right? We're looking at a older nose guard.
Yes, but man.
Number 99 for the NFC West, Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald. Oh, yeah. Aaron Donald is pretty short, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Buck.
There we go.
Okay, Buck. We're on the right track here.
Offensive tackle.
We have 7 guesses, and we've already narrowed it down to the division and position here. So we're moving along pretty good here. So it's either Seattle. So it's not the Rams. It is an NFC West. It is a defensive tackle, and he is either 6 foot or 5'11". That is a short defensive tackle.
So
That's a
defense
short
tackle on the AFC West. So let's think Cardinals defensive lineman here.
J.J. Watt, too big, and the defensive end.
Yeah, he's like 6'5", isn't he?
He's a big guy. Yeah.
Very tall. Very tall individual. Chandler Jones is no longer with the Cardinals, right? He's with the Raiders. Simmons is now he's a linebacker, isn't he? That Simmons guy, like Isaiah Simmons, right?
Yeah, he's like a rover. He's a linebacker safety hybrid. So
how about this? We just think of a defensive tackle on the NFC West and not try to do teams.
There you go.
How about Nick Bosa, 49ers?
Well, Bosa's the end. He's a DN.
Okay.
So while that could narrow down our team, but I don't want to throw that guess out there.
Yeah.
Why am I thinking Seattle defensive tackle here? Why am I blanking?
So it was Nick Bosa, and then the 49ers drafted a defensive end this like last year, right? Or something, I can't remember. Eric Armstrong, Eric with like an A.
Oh, Eric Armstead. Yeah, they've had him. Let's see here.
So Drew, JJ is a defensive end, so he would not be a defensive tackle.
So it's not.
Oh, he's classified as a defensive end. What?
Really?
I didn't know that.
That's wild. I thought he was a defensive tackle.
So it's not San Francisco.
So it's either Seattle or it's the Cardinals. So we do at least know that. So let's see here. Seattle.
How many picks we got? We got 6 more guesses.
Yeah. We got 6 more left to go here.
Man, why can't I think of the Arizona Cardinals defensive lineman? Because Simmons is the outside linebacker. Chandler was the middle linebacker, right? Which is no longer there. J.J. Watt is an outside defensive end. Man, is it Zach Allen? He was a defensive end as well, right? For the Cardinals. Is Xavion Collins a linebacker for the Cardinals?
Zaven's a linebacker.
Okay. Drew, you're a Cardinals guy. Come on, man. Help us out. Rashad Lawrence. Is that it? Lawrence. Close my eyes thinking. Yeah, it has to be Rashad Lawrence, I bet.
Okay, so it's a Seattle Seahawk.
Damn.
So we've got 5 guesses, and we know it's a defensive tackle, and we just got to narrow it down. Let's do
So hang on. So the number is a big issue here too, Wyatt. So it is 2 away from number 99. So it's going to be 98 or 97, right?
Correct.
So number 97 or 98 for the Seattle Seahawks defensive tackle. Can we figure that out?
Yes.
So number 98 for the Seahawks. Do they have a number 98?
I don't know. The first.
You know it's going to be a big black guy.
Can't say.
It's true though.
Oh man. they got the one guy. Isn't his name
Quentin Jefferson. Is that who I'm thinking? Yeah, Quentin Jefferson.
Quentin? Yeah, Quentin Jefferson is possibly. Let me go Jefferson. Okay, we're getting a little closer here.
He's 6'5", 6'4". Damn.
Yeah.
Number 77.
Don't they have that Puna guy or whatever?
Yeah, Puna Ford, right? Ford.
I think so.
It's Puna Ford. Bingo. Because after Puna Ford, I do not know their backups at all.
I was going to say Puna Ford is like the extent of my Seattle Seahawks defensive tackle knowledge.
Time to start to Google the names.
Right. That's the edge.
Yeah.
Of where my brain goes for that.
So
team.
hey, what number is he? Number 97, huh?
97. Yes, he's 5'11".
Wow.
He's 26 defensive tackle for Seattle. Yeah,
Let me Google him. I wonder how much he weighs.
I don't know. Let's see here.
310 pounds. He is a freaking bowling ball.
Yeah, he's
5'11", 300 pounds. A bowling ball.
Yeah.
And guess what, Wyatt? He is a big black man, like I said. Just put it out there. All right, guys.
You're gonna get us canceled.
So Jalen Joyce, what's up, man? He says a big black what is not. We are not talking about BBCs. I just want to point that out there. It is BBM's big black man. But yeah, so why the one thing that I really enjoy about this game is that it makes you like really look at positions besides, corners and quarterbacks and wide receivers like that. It just I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, it's fun. I absolutely love it. Whoever came up with this game, shout out to
we
those
did,
guys,
Wyatt.
whoever
They
that was.
literally stole our idea. Literally stole our
true.
idea. Yeah.
That is true. We did guess who, and we would have to narrow it down by divisions and stuff like that. That is true.
All right. But yeah, guys. So guys, we are up against that time. Wyatt will be MIA tomorrow. My man Beastie is supposed to be on. Wyatt, what division don't you want to break down?
What division don't I want to break down?
Yeah. We should probably not break the Packers because I feel like we would spend 2 hours talking about the Packers schedule.
I definitely want to break. I definitely want to break down the NFC North. Let's see, AFC North. I want to do that one.
Let's do AFC East tomorrow. AFC East tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because we all know that the Buffalo Bills are going to win that division, right?
Right.
No. Jets, baby. J-E-T, Jets.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Don't even do that.
Why? You send us out of here, big guy.
I will send us out of here. Man Hour Nation, I love you guys. Rise up. See you guys in 2 days.